Hey everybody, my name is Miss Fanta and I'm at Andrew Johnson Elementary School. Today I'm going to be talking with everybody about Author's Craft. And using Author's Craft, we're also going to be reading a short text with each other and kind of deciding what those things mean. So Author's Craft is the language and techniques a writer uses to make his or her writing interesting or also to communicate ideas to the reader. So authors are going to choose their words carefully, and this helps them express their ideas more clearly to their reader. Okay, so depending on what the language and what words are being chosen, it's going to make it either more or less interesting to read. So as we read through the text together here in just a little bit, I want you to take notice on how the author is going to use specific words to make a point and kind of help you better appreciate the subject that we're going to be talking about. So we have this chart here in front of us, and it has these different types of techniques. So we have voice, mood, anecdote, language, and here at the bottom we have a hyperbole. So looking at the language section, I want you to pay special attention to where it says sensory words here at language. Okay, sensory words appeal to the senses of sight, hearing, touch, smell, and taste. And the words that the author is going to use is going to help you, the reader, be able to kind of experience that writing. Okay? So authors are also going to use really vivid verbs and precise nouns to make their writing interesting and clear as well. So adjectives, their use of adjectives in writing, it's going to make it more interesting. Okay? You're going to have these positive or negative connotations used in the writing. So I've got an example here. It says an author might describe the quiet skies after a storm as gloomy to make the reader feel sad or even calm, maybe hopeful, depending on what the adjective. So if you're going to make the sky seem gloomy, is that going to be sad, calm, or hopeful? We're going to go with sad, right? So using this idea of author's craft in the language that's going to be used, let's take a look at our story, and it's called Who Studies Natural Disasters? Okay, let me move some stuff around here for you. Now, Who Studies Natural Disasters is actually, it's two different letters written. One is written to someone about a particular natural disaster. The other letter is actually, it's a response to that person. So we need to make sure that whenever we're looking at letters and things like that, we know that letters have headings. They're to certain people. There's a greeting, and then there's that closing piece as well at the end. So I want you to pay special close attention to the different words that this person uses to describe their experience with earthquakes, because that's what this is going to be about. And then we'll move to the other side and we'll actually talk about the response letter and the author's craft in that. It starts out with, let me make sure it's lined up here, October 23rd, 2018. Dear Professor Melendez, I'm writing to ask your advice about careers that involve studying natural disasters. My earth science, my favorite subject, teacher told me you teach college classes on natural disasters and suggested I send you a letter. Last year, my family explored Kilauea, a volcano in Hawaii. As part of the tour, we saw firsthand how a breathtaking natural occurrence can also lead to disaster. Our guide explained that a notable eruption in 2014 almost destroyed the nearby town of Paoa. The tour made me really interested in volcanoes. What processes inside the earth cause them? Why do they erupt? Most importantly, how can science and knowledge be used to keep people safe from them? We experience earthquake tremors in California sometimes and have to practice safety drills for them. The spontaneous shaking of the earth has always left me feeling both fascinated and scared. I've been reading about other natural disasters too. I think the swirling winds and drenching rains of hurricanes are as thrilling as earthquakes. They can also be just as dangerous, right? I want to understand these kinds of events and maybe help other people understand them better someday too. What careers would let me apply knowledge of natural disasters to help people? I'd very much appreciate your advice on jobs I might consider. Thank you for your time and advice. Sincerely, Robin Thierson. And then she goes on to give her address that they can send a letter back to. So this is her closing. So thinking about sensory language and author's craft, we can go in here and we can find different words throughout. She uses the word spontaneous, shaking of the earth, fascinated, scared. So all these different words that help you kind of experience what she's talking about. So you're going to be able to see how excited and passionate Robin is about the earthquakes and those natural disasters and studying them. And the word choices that Robin uses, it's going to grab the reader's attention. Okay, so whenever we're writing ourselves in our own draft books or what have you, we want to make sure that we're grabbing the attention of the reader. And that's what Robin's done here in her letter to Professor Melendez. So looking at the response letter that Professor Melendez has written Robin, let's take a look at it. November 1st, 2018. It was a pretty speedy response. Dear Robin, thanks so much for your letter. It's so encouraging to me to hear of your interest in science and natural disasters. The world needs budding scientists like you. So think about how this response has already kind of grabbed Robin and be like, oh, well, they're calling me a budding scientist, so I may maybe one day be a scientist. The language that was used here, this adjective. Your fascination with natural disasters could lead you to any number of exciting careers. For example, a volcanologist studies volcanoes. You may have met one during your tour of Kilauea. Volcanologists often work at the site of an erupting volcano. They also spend time in labs analyzing data about eruptions. You probably know that no one can predict earthquakes, but scientists called seismologists help us prepare for these natural hazards. These scientists also work both in labs and at sites of seismic activity such as fault lines. If you'd prefer the high winds and ocean storm surges of hurricanes, you may want to be a meteorologist. These scientists forecast the weather or study the atmosphere and the world's climate. Their knowledge and direction is invaluable in helping people stay safe during these mighty ocean storms. Hurricanes can be every bit as dangerous as eruptions and earthquakes. You're absolutely right. I gathered data for a seismologist for a number of years before I began teaching. I'd be happy to share my experiences with you and your classmates. Sincerely, Judy Melendez. And then goes on to give her headings and what she does at the school along with the where the school's located. So let's think about this response letter in author's craft. So first she goes on to say, oh, the world needs budding scientists like you. So it kind of makes Robin feel like somebody really appreciated writing to her. We also, thinking about the mood or tone of the words that are being used, we've got this excited and cheerful kind of thing that's making you think of. So if she's saying you to any number of exciting careers, she doesn't just say, oh, you could do any career you wanted. She's talking about them like they're exciting careers. So that's really important. So we've got some other words and phrases that are being used. We've got high winds, ocean storm surges, and mighty ocean storms. So instead of just saying, oh, there's really fast winds, the ocean moves quickly, oh, there's a storm out there over the water, we kind of have this really deep, exciting language that's being used. So think about using these types of things in your own writing. How could you use a negative or positive connotation in your writing? Things of that nature. We're going to stop it here today. You all have this in your My Book on page 180 and 181. So you're more than welcome to go back and look over that. And that's author's craft for the day.